Hey radio friends, I'm Christy Grace at Maasbach Radio in the Netherlands. Welcome to this awesome conversation with Josh Havens from the Afters. Where are you calling from, Josh?
I am in Arizona.
Arizona.
It's a really hot day today here in Arizona.
Isn't it always though?
Sunny and hot. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay, Josh, so you're with the incredible band, The Afters. You've been making pop music for decades, so there's a lot we can unpack here. But first of all, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, other than it being really hot. But we live in the desert here, and it's really beautiful too. So that's nice.
Right. I'm going to give you some topics, and I would love to hear your first response on them. We're going to start with my favorite right here.
Perfect.
The Netherlands. Tell me about it.
Hup, Holland, hup. Hup, Holland, hup.
Josh, jij spreekt Nederlands.
Ja, ik praat een beetje Hollands.
Wow, you speak Dutch. How is that?
Well, actually, my family is from Holland. My mom is 100% Dutch, born and raised there. My older brother and sister were born in Holland. I was the first kid who was born in the United States, but I did get my Dutch passport, so I have dual nationality.
That's amazing. Dat is geweldig. Josh,
Geweldig.
wat is er lekker om te eten in Nederland?
Oh, chocolade
Hagelslag.
hagelslag. Yeah, we always have chocolade hagelslag in our home. My kids love it.
Okay, so let me tell you, you gotta eat that with yogurt sometime.
Oh, yogurt.
Yes.
I put it on fla usually,
Flat. Oh,
but yogurt would be good too. Now, one thing that I love that we cannot get here, and I always look forward to going back, and it's the first thing that I get when I step off the airplane in Amsterdam, and that is croquettes.
croquettes. Well, I wish I could tell you that I would send you some, but they will not taste very good when they get there.
No, they won't. But I love them.
Wow, yeah, I can tell. You really have that Dutch heritage. Do you come here often?
I do, yeah. So I have a brother who lives in Kijkdown.
Kijk dan.
I have a niece who lives in Zwolle. I have cousins who live in The Hague and Scheveningen.
Wow.
I have an aunt, my tante. She is in Wassenaar. So kind of all over Holland. And I have some family who live all the way over in Enschede.
Wow, that's amazing. We're in The Hague.
Spread out.
So your
Yeah.
family is always welcome. Your tante can always come to have some coffee here at Maasbach Radio. Please let her know.
Well, you want to hear a funny story involving Maasbach?
Okay.
My parents were new Christians when I was very young. And we went back to visit my oma and opa. And we actually went to Maasbach, to the ministry there, and went to church. And I remember actually going to the children's program, and they had some singing program they were doing with children, and I was actually a part of that.
Wow.
So we have ties to Maasbach way back, even when I was a kid.
That's incredible. So you've actually been here across the street to the Blessing Church, Capitol, our
Yes, to the
church
Blessing
building.
Church. Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing. These
When I was
roots
very young.
go way back. 70 years of the Johan Maasbach World Mission we are celebrating this year. And I think it's incredible that I'm talking to you across the ocean.
Amazing.
And you have also been here, heard of Maasbach. And I think honoring our roots is something very special that we also do here at Maasbach Radio. So speaking of, let me give you your next topic.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Coffee shop, tell me about it.
Oh, yes. Well, that's how we got our start as a band.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of big things in my life happened because of coffee. I met my wife at a coffee shop that I worked at. She also worked there. And I met my bandmates. And so we all worked at a Starbucks coffee shop. It was in Mesquite, Texas. And my now guitar player and we would come in and work the morning shift, which was coming in at like 5 a.m. in the morning. Neither of us were morning people. But we would open up the store, and it was a while ago. So it was just out of when we were just graduated from high school. So it would be not very busy for about 2 hours, and we would go pull our guitars out, and we start making up songs and playing music right there in the coffee shop. But then a customer would walk in, and we would just keep playing. And so they would order their drink. They would order their drink, and we would just make up songs about it and kind of goof off and have fun. And it was so much fun. And our customers started saying, hey, when can we see you guys play a concert? And we had never really thought about putting a band together, but somebody asked us to put together music for a missions conference that was happening in Texas. And so we did. That was our first show. And then we booked another one after that. And we had about 300 people that came out. And it was mostly customers from our Starbucks.
Wow, that's incredible, that story.
We still love coffee to this day. I love Holland's coffee. All the coffee in Holland is always so good. And I love that it's a coffee culture. I grew up with that. My parents were big on that. Coffee time, met gebakje. And
Josh, next time you come back, please, we have to have some coffee. But I love the Dutch mug, but that's too big for a Dutch coffee.
It is. It's got the right thing on it, but it's not the kleine kopje.
Yeah. I love it though. Hey, for everybody that's listening to Maasbach Radio, a coffee shop in the Netherlands is not a coffee shop. Josh, do you want to tell them? Did you not know this?
No, I do know this.
Okay.
You have to be careful which coffee shop you go to. You want to go to the coffee shop with the K, not the coffee shop with the C.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right.
That's what I understand.
Yes.
Stay away from the other one.
Yes, if you want to know more.
We've heard funny stories of people from the States unknowingly going to a coffee shop thinking they were going to get coffee and wondering, where am I now?
Yeah, that's why I'm just clarifying for everybody listening to Maasbach Radio. A coffee shop is where people buy their drugs, but there's also a lot of gezellig places where you can get
Cafes.
Actual coffee. Yeah.
Yes, and that's where we go.
Exactly. So Josh, our next topic is social media. Tell us about the amazing campaign you guys are doing on social media right now.
Well, we've had some great people who were a part of it. Thank you very much. Well, we have a song called Say Goodbye, Say Hello. So we wanted a way to make that personal. Because we all have things that we wish that we could leave in the past, things that maybe we're frustrated with or that drag us down, that we get stuck in. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can leave those things behind us. And so the song is really about leaving those things, the toxic things, the struggles, leaving in the past and stepping into what God has for us, a future of hope, a future of promise. And so we started, all of us in the band, we just wrote down the things that we wanted to leave in the past and then ripped it up and then put something that we wanted to step into for the future and say hello to. And so we started having friends send things in, and then our fans started sending things in. And it's been really cool. It's been a lot of really cool signs that people have made.
It's very inspiring to see. You even got Michael Tate from Newsboys. You got Christy Grace from Maasbach Radio doing it. And it's great to see all that. So that leads me to this final topic I want to throw at you, which is miracles. Josh, I know you have seen miracles in your life, in your family. I don't know what you want to share about that, but can you encourage our listeners today on this topic of miracles?
No, I believe God does supernatural things. I've seen it in my family. He's greater than all of our biggest struggles. He's greater than the impossible things in our lives. Sometimes we face things that just seem impossible. And it's good to know that we have a God who's in the business of doing impossible things. And he always has, and he always will. And we've seen God work in some pretty amazing ways. I have a sister who travels the world with doing photography. And she'll go to places in Africa and Asia, way remote villages. And she comes back and she says, you won't believe the miracles that we see happen. She said, you'll have somebody who was blind or somebody who couldn't hear their whole life or, bones that were deformed or all kinds of things. And she says, we've seen God perform actual miracles. And then what happens is that person will be healed, and then the whole village will come to Jesus. Wow. She's actually collecting stories for a book that she's going to do called Miracles. So, hearing that, it's one thing to hear somebody else's story, but then we've had some pretty cool things happen, even in our band. And one story that I'll share actually involves the Netherlands. There was a time that we were playing in Amsterdam at the Melkweg, and about 2 months before we came for the show at the Melkweg, our longtime sound guy, his wife went in to give birth to their baby, and they had some unexpected complications, and their daughter passed away at birth. And I remember the excitement of that day. He was so excited to go. And he was texting us, "Oh, we got the nursery ready with pictures and all that." And man, I just remember what a dark cloud of a day. It was so awful. And I remember going to the funeral and seeing, this little tiny casket and thinking that should never happen. And I was just heartbroken for my friend. And so we had the Europeans who were coming up, and we asked him if he wanted to come and bring his wife. Originally, they were going to just stay home. And then we said, well, we're going to bring our wives. Why don't you bring your wife? You guys come. We want to love on you. And so they did. It was really awesome. But when we were in the Netherlands, we were sound checking at the Melkweg, and our wives went walking around the city, and they came back super excited because they said, we found a place that has the same name as our daughter. And the name was Piper, Pieper. And they'd only seen the spelling of that one other time. And so it was some cafe, like a brown cafe that had been there for one of the oldest cafes in the city, I guess. And it was called Piper Cafe. So they asked, can we go to the Piper Cafe after the show and say some words and remember Piper? So we did. We played the show. We went. We couldn't believe that this place was here. It had the same spelling. And, we just spent some time praying with them in there, and we all cried together, and it was a really sweet moment. But we get up to leave, and I see on the wall, there's only one thing hanging on this wall, and it's an award that the cafe had received. And it said Piper Cafe. So I called them over. I said, hey, you should take a picture of this because it has Piper's name on it. And his wife, Lauren, she walks over, and she just starts bawling, crying. And really lost it. I was like, what's going on? And she said, look at the date on the award. And the date was Piper's birthday. So crazy. So it felt like there was angels flying around there, and it felt like God was so present. And for them, it was exactly what they needed in that moment. Like God was saying, I'm with you, I see you. Because what are the odds that you're going to be across the world and you end up at a place that has your daughter's name when you've never seen it anywhere else? And there on the wall is something with your daughter's actual birthday.
Wow.
It's August 25th. And that felt like a little miracle that showed them that God is with them, that he's comforting them, that he cared, that he's not absent. And they still hold on to that to this day.
Yeah, wow. And that's not a common name or a common word in the Netherlands. No. I told them that too. I was like, it's not like, John or, Right.
Not some common name that even there. So that was, it was pretty cool to see, even in moments of grief, how God can show up in miraculous ways.
Yeah.
And just give us signs that he's there, that he's with us, that he loves us. And so, to your listeners right now, I would encourage you that whatever you are going through, that you're not alone in it, that God is with you. And I pray over you right now that God would show you signs that remind you of his faithfulness, remind you that he is there with you, because he is good. And every time I've been through a hard, stormy season in life, when I've made it to the other side, looking back, I could always see God's fingerprints on it. And I know that's going to happen in your life too. Praying for that.
Yes, amen. Amen, Josh. Dat is geweldig. Dankjewel.
Geweldig. Dankjewel.
Thank you so much. Het is geweldig om je hier bij Maasbach Radio te hebben. Dankjewel daarvoor. And it's been wonderful spending time with you and pouring into our listeners. Thank you for that. If you're listening to Maasbach Radio, make sure you're checking out Say Goodbye, Say Hello, and maybe you even want to make that little video what you want to say goodbye to and what you're saying hello to. It can encourage someone else that is dealing with that right now. So why not be that voice of inspiration on social media? Thank you, Josh. This was Josh Havens from the Afters on Maasbach Radio.
Thank you so much. Dankjewel. Tot ziens.
Maasbach Radio.